Hello, Flosstube. My name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube update number 177. I'm a little, as you notice, this is a different background than I usually have. I'm a little out of pocket, a little out of place. I'm at my sister's house, my sister Naomi's house. I'm house sitting, pet sitting for her. For this weekend, she's out of town for a few days. They're helping their daughter move apartments, and she's out in Boston. So, and it's also my nephew's birthday in a few days. So they're spending a few days out there in Boston helping her move, and they're going to celebrate my nephew Eli's birthday and then come back. So I'm watching her taking care of her dog. She has an older dog that takes a lot of medication and has, she's just getting older and needs, looking after. And then also her cats, Calvin and Hobbes, they've disappeared kind of. So I have to kind of look around and make sure they're okay. I'm sure if they have needs, they'll make themselves known. I think they're I don't know, they're hiding out, whatever. But so I'm gonna go look for them in a minute. But anyway, so I'm out here, and there's a little bit of glare back there, but this thing's like the best place to sit and videotape. Anyway, so I was actually reviewing my last week's video to see what did I talk about, what did I cover, and because I have a bunch of I have some haul, and I was like, did I talk about this last time or whatever, So anyway, I'm a little out of pocket because I don't have all my stuff handy that I would sometimes have whatever. So, but I think I have enough to talk about. So I'm just gonna talk about a little bit of life stuff. They just I talked about last week about how the Mesa Community College Orchestra rehearsals were starting on Tuesday, and Naomi and I went, and it went really well. The pieces that we're playing, one of them I've never played before, a Borodin thing, but the other two we're doing Mendelssohn Hebrides Overture and a little orchestral suite from Carmen. They're fairly well known on the orchestral light pops kind of list. So I've played both of them several times in my previous life as a professional musician. It's been a really good way to get my feet wet again. Going back in there and playing mostly familiar music. So it was a lot of fun on Tuesday. We're not going this Tuesday because with Naomi out of town, and it's hard for me and all that. So we're not going to go. I'm not going to go to rehearsal by myself. I'm not going to do that. So, but we will be back there again next week. Like I said, it went really well, and went a lot better than I expected in many ways. So yeah, that was fun. So that's I think going to be a good experience. And also, my sisters and I, we talked about the 411 project, the pillowcases that we're making for the children's home, the New Mexico Baptist Children's Home. And we've had a great response. Thank you very much for those who have sent fabric and have sent money. My sister just called me a little while ago that someone had sent a check, and someone had sent a big box. I don't know if it's the same person or a different person, but what we assume is fabric, a big box from at this. We have a new address that we had been using our home address, but we recently got a new address, which is I think my sister has listed in the description box, for our channel, but we have a new address that we've been using, and so that helps keep sort of all that stuff separate. So that's why we just recently got that generous shipment from couple of our viewers, I guess. Anyway, and we do have some money and gift cards that have been given to us, so we're gonna, when Naomi's back in town from her thing, we're gonna go and take a look at what fabrics we have and what fabrics we might need or whatever, and use that gift card gift money that we have, and get started, assembly lining, doing an assembly line of making some pillows. But so yeah, thank you very much for that. And again, we're still inching closer in our subscription, our subscriber list on the Three Sisters Creative video. I also recently checked the number of subscribers I have on this channel, and I'm up to like 248. So I want to be thinking about like 300, I guess, I think, when I hit 300. So I'm about 50 subscribers away from 300, so that would be nice. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Like I said, it's the 411 project on the Three Sisters Creative Sticks and Strings video. So if you want to check that out, I'm gonna have a link below to the 411 project video, and also in a couple of days. My sisters and I recorded on Friday another Sticks and Strings video that'll be uploaded on Sunday. So we did record a video before Naomi went out of town, because she went out of town at as we say, the butt crack of dawn this morning. So on Friday we did recorded this weekend's Sticks and Strings video, so it'll be out on Sunday. So I'm going to link both of those. The 411 project link will be linked below, and then when the new video goes out, I'll link that one below too. So you can check those out whenever you see those links. Okay, so now I'll get started to talk about what I was doing. So last weekend I talked about starting this dimensions kit. I went ahead and folded the little thing in half because it was getting kind of tattered, and one of my cats has been sitting on everything. So but so yeah, so this is Winter Gathering. This is dimensions. Oh, I have it upside down. Yeah. I have it right down. Winter Gathering. It's a dimensions kit by Kim Martin, is the designer. Yeah. So, but yeah, so it's these little birds on a wire or something with their little winter hats and stockings. And I didn't do a whole lot of work on it. I worked on it some. Along with some frogging. So I did all everything in this little bird. There's there's a white, and let me take a look at this real quick for a second. And I don't know if I'm missing a color right in here. It looks like I might be. I don't know. I don't know. But I did add a few things and subtract a few things. I had stitched this black right here, and I had just put in there's a couple of brown stitches right next to this black one. I mean, like one or two stitches from it, right? And then I was doing this light gray color up above the black. And as I started to put it in, I thought, well, there's supposed to be two black stitches before, like right after the two gray stitches that I just did, before this black one, and there was only one. So I thought, oh, that's a mistake. So, I had done all these black stitches with one, with one continuous, piece of thread. So I had to undo the whole thing in order to add a stitch in there and make it right. And I didn't want to fudge it just because all the other stitches around it are, it's very intricate and very complicated and very mixed together. So I didn't want to fudge it at this stage in the game to make it to have to fiddle around with putting things in the right, if it was going to come out right or not, whatever. So I took the black out to redo it, which meant I had to take the brown out, and it was just two little stitches. I happened to have a short piece of thread, and I put those two stitches in, and then, it was the end of the thread basically, and to put them back in where they belong by themselves would have meant starting a new thread, and I didn't want to do that yet. So, I'll eventually get back to doing those brown stitches, but I just now, like I said, I noticed that I guess I have another color that goes right in here. I don't know, because it's been a few days since I worked on it. But I did get this pewter. This color is called pewter, and I kept thinking I was going to get to it. I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to do this color, and then I'll do that pewter color, and then and then I would get interrupted or something, and I wouldn't get around to it, and then I would start another color, and I said, well, I'll finish this, and then I'll do the pewter, and I didn't get around to it because I got interrupted or whatever. So I finally started working on this pewter color, and I think I had done it like on Tuesday. I had since I had rehearsal that evening, I came over here because Naomi and I were going to go to the rehearsal together, and so she said, "Well, why don't you just come over, early here?" And I think did I eat dinner with them, something like that. So anyway, I was here, just sort of killing time. No, yeah, we didn't eat dinner. We because we had a late lunch, and so we just went to rehearsal. But I came here in between lunch and rehearsal. So I finally worked on this pewter, but I did about halfway on it. Because I did it out and back, Danish method. You do half stitches and then you come back and finish it. So I had done all that and got up here. And as I was coming back, I got down to about here, and it was wrong. I thought it wasn't, I wasn't in the right place. And so I realized that somewhere along here on the way out, I had made a mistake. And part of it is that this little bird being in the middle of the design here, it's 2 pages. The design is 2 pages, and that bird is right in the middle of where the split pages are. And I have not still, although I think I'm going to have to. I had not made a working copy so that I could, because what I wanted to do was just at least copy just the middle few lines so that I could like cut it and tape it together, that middle part, so I could see what how it lined up, because I was like constantly going, wait, does this go like this? And I'm like, okay, wait, I have to line up the top of the pattern or whatever, line up the little, 10 lines, whatever, so that I could tell, it was really hard to do. And so in trying to do that, I had and also it's one of those charts where it's like it's in green and black, right? Green and red, the symbols. And so to me, they're harder to look at than if it was all in black and white, or if it was in color blocks, which is fairly common now, where you get a chart that, like, say, like everything in this color is gray, say it's a yellow block with a black symbol in it or something, or an orange, it's some other color symbol in it. So it might be an orange block with a black diamond in it or something. That's easier to look at for me than a white block, just a regular white block with a green circle or a red triangle or something like that. Those are somehow harder to look at. Anyway, so that was one of the reasons that I messed this up. So I had to pull it all out and redo it. But I think it's correct now. It better be correct now. But so I did this little color. So this is, I worked on a little bit at the beginning of the week, and I haven't, for the last couple of days, I haven't worked on it but that's coming along. So that's Winter Gathering. And all the stuff, it came in a kit, right? So it came with this light blue Ada. I don't know if you can see the color there. There's a lot of glare in here. Yeah. So this light blue Ada, and it came with, of course, all the kit threads. And they are dimension numbers, so that they don't really line up exactly with DMC numbers. But all the threads are included in the kit, and so yeah. So this is also a Dimensions kit, a Dimensions Jiffy kit, and it's a bazillion years old, from '92. Midnight Meow, I talked about this last week also. And this is one of my oldest, if not the oldest, whip. But and I talked about how this kit was, the instructions said to use 3 threads, and I didn't. I used 4 because of my neurotic compulsions. Excuse me. And actually, on Friday's Sticks and Strings video, I talk at length about my even number compulsion and how it grew and what I do, and it's kind of funny and embarrassing at the same time. Anyway, so that's what part of what led me to do these 2 cats in using 4 threads at a time. And it actually looks pretty good. they're very solid feeling, you know, that thick feeling that you get whenever you get like solid stitching like that. But it's especially true with this because of the four threads. But I finished these cats. There's of course back stitching around their eyes and their, you know, that's why this cat doesn't have a mouth yet. And this one also. The only thing is that, because like I said, I had somehow I had gotten rid of the threads that from this kit, because I'd had it for such a long time that I'd forgotten I had it. Anyway, so I had used my, you know, DMC and kind of eyeballed it and got DMC equivalents. But the only problem I have is that the colors that I chose for like the inside of his mouth here, it's a very dark gray. I used, it's like 313, 314, and 315, you know, DMC numbers. But, you know, so because there's 3 shades of gray in there, you know, like light gray, gray, and dark gray or something like that. But this right here, you know, it looks it looks non-stitched when you first look at it, but it's actually stitched. It's just a very dark gray here and under his ear, and then between his legs right here too. It's also that very dark gray. I'm getting a lot of glare. That's behind it, yeah. So, and it's not, doesn't look too bad. Right here it looks a little weird, and but there's some like, you know, black backstitching. I don't know how well the black backstitching is going to show up, you know, but it's on black and it calls for black, so I don't know. But anyway, underneath these cats, there's a line of the fence that you can see in this picture. But on this looking at the chart, this part of this fence is the same color as you know, here and then here eventually. So I think I'm gonna have to go like 2 shades lighter, just so that fence shows up a little better, because I'm using a little bit darker thread for this darker gray here, you know. Like on the model, it shows up pretty well, but the grays that I'm using for them are a little bit darker and they don't show up as well. So I want to go 1 shade lighter with each of those 2 colors for the fence. But the other thing is, I started on this other cat. If you may have noticed, there's a 3rd cat in this picture. I had talked about last week about whether or not to continue with the 4 threads or to switch to 2 threads. And I had some comments from several people who said, you know, like one person said, cats have different thicknesses of fur, so, you know, you just have different cats, right? So, and it's true that, you know, some cats have long hair, some cats have short hair, some cats have no hair. So, yeah. So I went ahead and switched to 2 threads at a time, which is great. It's going a lot faster. It's a lot easier. It doesn't look bad. You can't, you know, yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. So I did take out what I had put in here. It was the bottom of this cat. It's like, you know, just the bottom line here I had put in with the 4 threads. So I took that out, which was no big deal, and I stitched it with 2. So I have the other side of the cat to go, and it looks like the cat's mouth is open. It's not. It's going to have a white muzzle like this kitty, and then some backstitch details here. And then there's some different colors for the eyes there. And these little tigery stripes. And like I said, the other half of the cat here. But I did do it so far, and it's pretty good. The only thing is, I wish this pink on the inside of his ears showed up a little more, but I don't think it's a problem. And again, it'll be backstitched kind of around the cat to make it stand out. So once I finish this, I have, you know, a few other colors to go on this kitten, and it'll be done. And then I have the other two cats that go over here. Yeah. So it's coming like, and there's a moon and stars in the picture here. Let me see up here. So yeah, so I've done most of this cat. I have it's the other side to do right here, and then the other two cats. But yeah, so it's coming along very nicely. And you know, I'd forgotten how much I really like that chart. So last week I talked about some things that I bought at the attic, and I talked very excitedly about this stoneware bunny from Pursel's Pocket. And when I picked it up at the store the other day, I showed it to my sister. I said, "Oh, look, this stoneware bunny." She goes, "Don't you have that already?" And I said, "No." I said, I was looking for it. I said, "I have the stoneware snowman." And then the two cats, of course, that I got a long time ago, the stoneware stoneware cat and stoneware kitten, I think they're called. And, you know, yeah, I got the snowman a few weeks ago, and I talked about that. And she was, you know, but she said, "You know, don't you already have that bunny?" And I was like, no, I don't. So I got it, right? Yes, I do have it. I already had it. We get, you know, when I was doing my update last week, and I was writing stuff for the description box. When my tablet has a sort of like what do you call it? Suggested, you know, like it. You start to type something and it suggests those words, right? And so, like all the stuff that I usually type in my description box, like my address or whatever, or if I've talked about a chart before and I say, you know, such and such by so and so, it remembers that, you know. And so when I started to write stoneware, okay, that word came up, and that I expected that. But then the word bunny came up, stoneware bunny by, you know, it's like, that's, uh-oh. And yeah, I started to suspect that I already had it, and I did. It was in my stash somewhere. So one of those will probably be a giveaway at some point, because I don't need two of them. But anyway, so I talked about last week how I had placed an order with 123 Stitch, and it came in. So, and even the back order August came in. So there's August, and I was like, I don't understand this picture, you know, but that's because like the bunnies are like, you know, slightly different pose, so it's hard to see here. But there's the ears, and the bunnies are sort of, you know, leaping or, you know, whatever. Let me see if I can get rid of some of this glare back here. So yeah, so like these are easier to see even though they're upside down. There's their ears here, and the head, and their legs, and their body, right? So because of the picture, these upper ones are harder to see. But yeah, and then these are carrots in the middle here, and I guess these are carrots on the corners. Yeah. So there's August. And these are by Ink Circles. I can't remember the person's name. Tracy Horner. So this one is September. Little bunnies with a, looks like a plant of some kind. I haven't looked very closely. Like a flower, yeah. And then this is July, August, September, July. There's some leaping bunnies. Look at those ears, they're so cute. Yeah, and these are finished with finishing materials from Lady Dot Creates. And they did have one finishing packet there at the attic, but it was a little pricey for me at the time, so yeah, I kind of don't think I'm gonna get it, but you know. Anyway, so there's these three: July, August, September, and like I said, I actually, what's today? The 28th. So today starts the expo, and I'm assuming that the October, November, December charts are available in expo. I think I talked about it last week. I said, or the week before, I said something about expo being in August, and then I said being in November. I misspoke totally. I don't know where November came out. It just came out of my mouth. But the other thing I ordered from 123 Stitch was this Galina silk brick. So the Rabbit series are all charted in silks, and I did the first one, the January chart for cross stitch camp, and as part of the challenge to do something, a new fabric, a new floss or whatever, I did silks for the first time because I've never done them before. And so I then decided to go ahead and do all the the silk colors. And I talked about last week how I had gotten at the attic, a couple of the colors that I was missing of the all the silk colors for those charts. And they had, they had been out of some colors, but I found two at the attic, and the other one I had found at 123 Stitch. So now I have all of them. But yeah, so that was nice. And then yesterday was Friday. So maybe Friday or Thursday, my older sister and I went to Hobby Lobby for something else. She was working on the Just Nan, what is it called? Crystal Snow Lady Mouse, I think it's called. Something like that. Crystal Snow Lady Mouse, I think is what it's called. I don't know. But anyway, she needed some heavy thread for the whiskers, and it ended up, the thread that she chose ended up not working the way it was supposed to, so she used some other thread that she had. Anyway, we had gone to Hobby Lobby to look for that, and there was something I was looking for at the same time, and I don't remember now what it was. I don't know. But anyway, so while I was there, I got a few things. So I had talked about the other day, a couple weeks ago, about, or several weeks ago, I don't know, about doing my Black Oak Angels as ornaments, and I'm still working on that, but but how I had wanted another piece of sticky board, I think, for those. So I went ahead and picked that up. That was kind of what I was looking for. But then I had bought, I don't know if I mentioned that I had bought a little pack of these Jingle Bells, little tiny Jingle Bells. And I used some, and I had an idea about some more. So I got another box of these. And they're just little tiny, just miniature Jingle Bells in typical Christmas colors. But I saw those and I thought I'd go ahead and get them. And I got some more findings, just some silver colored things that I've used for needle minders. We have different colored ones, stainless steel kind of looking, and silver and gold and some sort of bronzy colors. So I just went ahead and got those because the silver ones are, we use more often. They're just more findings, But then they have a lot of their Christmas things out, of course, already at Hobby Lobby. And one thing I did was I got this little pack of charms, and they're, just all kinds of little Christmas charms in there. And then I'm probably going to make a needle minder out of this beautiful little angel. Yeah. And I had done a needle minder like this, the Christmas tree thing. This is a pin, like a brooch, but I had taken off the pin part, or sort of filed that down to make it smoother, and made a needle minder out of that. So that's my intention there. And I think this one I'll either do as a scissor fob or a needle minder, but there's a little deer in there. I don't know if you can see there. Yeah. And it's kind of, it's like a snow globe kind of, thing. There's loose little snow in there. So yeah, there's a little deer in the snow. So it's got a little fob up here, but I'm, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to make a scissor fob out of it or like cut that off and make a needle minder out of it. I don't know. I want to see what the back looks like a little bit, and then I debated whether or not to show this. I didn't tell my sister about it, but Naomi, check it out. It's a gnome. My sisters and I have been, my sister Naomi has a lot of gnome stuff. Naomi, we've called her Nomi since we were kids. And so, a lot of times the gnome stuff, you kind of find some gnome things around Christmas time. But yeah, it's a gnome. They're hard to find sometimes, just like, you'll find garden gnomes sometimes and things like that, but so I like this one. It's a nice, very hairy gnome. So I'm going to see about making a scissor fob or something like that out of that for her. But yeah, so I think that's about it for me. I wanted to talk about my September plans. Now that September is just around the corner, it's on Wednesday, and I didn't bring the charts with me today here to Naomi's house, but on September 1st, as part of the sort of ongoing cross-stitch camp thing, Sherry Berger had talked about doing Showstopper September. And I had talked about doing both the Owl Forest Monster Wonder Whale chart and Kathy Barrick and Heaven and Nature Sing chart. So I had at least one other person contact me about doing, Monster Wonder Whale. And I decided that, since, if anybody wants to join in on either of those two projects, or really kind of whatever, if you want to stitch with me, I'm gonna do a little hashtag called Super Showstopper Sal. Since I'm taking on both projects, I'm not just doing a showstopper, I'm doing a super showstopper. Some people might do a super showstopper if they're stitching something gigantic, like one of the Long Dog Stitcher charts. Those are pretty involved. I downloaded the pandemic chart, and it's very huge, and it's very complex, and I haven't made a whole lot of progress on it. But if you're doing that, one of those for September, and you consider that a super showstopper, whatever. But anyway, because I'm doing those two charts, the Owl Forest chart and the Kathy Barrick chart. I'm calling it Super Showstopper. So I have that hashtag Super Showstopper Sal. Say that 5 times fast. And so if you want to put that on there, feel free to do that. We'll work on that together. Super Showstopper Sal. Super Showstopper Sal. S-A-L. And we'll see if that works. I've never done a hashtag thing before. I've never done a Sal before. But, with my followers, my friends, whatever. So if you feel compelled to do that, Showstopper Sal, do it. Join in. Tell your friends, but talk about it, whatever. So we're gonna work on like I said, on that, on those two charts. So anyway, so starting September 1st, we'll start that Super Showstopper Sal, and everything else I'm working on will probably, if I'm not finished by then, we'll take a back seat to that. I did work a little bit on Spring Scamper because I was working. I decided, I was packing up stuff to come over here, and I had packed those two charts, which I'm currently working on. And I thought, well, I just had about an hour or two to kill, time to kill at home at my house before I came over here, because Naomi was going to pick me up, and she was, making dinner or doing whatever. And so, or I was eating dinner. What was I doing? I was doing something. But anyway, so there was a little bit of a time gap there, and Naomi was going to come and pick me up so I could stay at her house. So I had, done all the things I needed to do at my house, but I had packed all my stuff. So, I packed my clothes and everything else. So I packed all my cross-stitch stuff that I was going to bring over here. So anyway, I was like, do I have something? Surely I have something I can work on while I'm here. I'm killing time, so I can do some stitching. So I did a little work on Luminous Fiber Arts Spring Scamper, the one with the giant carrot. I did a few lines of the giant carrot. I didn't have a whole lot of time, like I said, but I did a few lines of the carrot. So so I did some work on that as well. I just didn't bring it with me to show it because it wasn't packed. Okay, so that is about it. And I will, like I said, I'm going to start on Wednesday on the Super Showstopper Sal, and And so next Saturday, I'll have that to show, those two charts to show, perhaps. And we'll talk about that then. Okay, and I should be back home to, making my video from home again. And so, okay, so that's it, I think. So I don't know. Yeah, I think I did. I did say my name at the beginning, didn't I? Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches. So, like I said, I'll try to put all those links that I talked about in the description box below. And yeah, that's it, I think, until next week. So I will see you next time. Bye.